Well, I just want you to know that every single podcaster, streamer, and talk radio host worth their salt, we've been saying a prayer every morning and every night to the Lord our God, and that is please, please don't take Jasmine Crockett away from us. You see, Jasmine Crockett's district in Texas has basically been redrawn, and she's either going to be out of a job or she's going to have a really tough job every 2 years running for reelection. You know, she's going to have to raise money, and she's actually going to have to answer to the voters if she's not doing a good job for them. She doesn't have that problem right now in her district. And well, faced with that reality, she's decided that she's done with that sort of life. She doesn't want to raise money for the house, for a measly little house district. She doesn't want to have to answer to voters. Are you kidding me? Run for reelection and actually have to worry about whether you're going to win the election or not? That's for the peasants. Nope, she's running for the U.S. Senate, damn it. We take you now to her press conference where, like every serious Senate candidate, she began things with a rap, an original, independently composed, horrible, excruciating, nails on a chalkboard rap.
Let's get into it.
Okay. She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Always willing to go toe to toe against the president. I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids. They protect folks touching them. Trump invading his own country with our army. What a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats. What y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing, buddy? Think again. They only trying to scare out of running because they think she'll win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got 2 words for every racist bigot. Jasmine Crockett.
Y'all hear the words.
Me, I hope my money goes to side that isn't trying to say affordability is a hoax. She stand on business, Austin toes. Texas dope, don't need no more bad built, bleach, blonde, butch bodies moving forward.
I'm all in. Sign me up. To take my money. Take my money. I need this. I need this for the next 10 months of my life. First Tuesday in November of next year. It's going to be such a sad day when this is not part of our lives anymore. I hope Kevin has all the thumbnails ready, all of the various AI modified Jasmine Crockett images that we are going to be doing. I'm thinking a daily Crockett here on the show. The dude wrote the rap song, already laid down the track with his lyric on it. His job was to read it and rap along with the lyrics that are already playing on the speaker, and he couldn't even do that. She's getting the nomination, you realize. They're clearing the field for her. Oh, man. And then it was time for Jazzy to come out. She put on the special dead butterfly eyelashes for the occasion. By the way, it's been noted already by political professionals, but if you didn't see it, because you probably don't follow the same people that I follow on social media, I just want to point out that right there, that image you're looking at, for those of you who are watching the video podcast, that is the image of failure. They failed before they even began. You see, the whole point of a teleprompter is to create the illusion that the principal, the candidate, or the politician, or the elected official is delivering their speech without having to look down and without having to raise it. The teleprompters are supposed to be transparent to the proceedings. And a teleprompter glass that one looks at when delivering a speech is on an angle so that the principal can read it at the podium, but you angle the lights in such a way that they are not reflected on the light. Now, sometimes for an outdoor speech, you can't do that because of sunlight and things like that. But this is a controlled environment in a room where the teleprompter glass and the lighting is all under your control. And the most prominent thing on this stage is not the candidate, not the candidate's name on the podium, not even the American flag. I can't take my eyes off the teleprompters. They're not supposed to be the most prominent thing. So already you've got the look of failure. This is basic comms here, people. And she can't even get that right. But here she is, beginning the remarks. And I want you to bear one thing in mind. There's going to be a through line here. There's going to be a theme to Jasmine Crockett's big day yesterday announcing her run for Senate. And that is this. I want you to imagine that you are a citizen of the Republic of Texas. And you have an open mind. And you're saying, okay, Jasmine Crockett, you want to be my senator? All right, I'm gonna watch your big statement here, your introduction to me, where you're gonna ask for my vote. So tell me, please, what will your priorities be? What issues are you most passionate about? And how will you represent me? What will you do for me, representing me as a Texan in the United States Senate? Okay, remember, that's the goal here. That's what Jasmine Crockett needs to achieve. They need to communicate that to you as a Texan, okay? So let's play along, shall we? Go ahead, Jasmine. Take it away.
Right now, many people wonder why I jumped in this race so late, and I just want to be clear that this was never my intention. This was never about me. I never put myself into any of the polls. Listen, my question was, which congressional seat would I be running for? And for Texas 30, I love you, Texas 30. Okay, I'm gonna finish. But the more I saw the poll results, I couldn't ignore the trends, which were clear, both as it relates to the primary as well as the general election. I could have played it safe and continued serving in the United States House of Representatives for as long as my constituents would have me. But I don't choose to do that. Because Texas, this moment we're in now, is life or death.
Okay. So at the beginning of that 1 minute emotional roller coaster we all just went on, she reiterated that this is not about her. And then she went on for the rest of the minute to talk about her polling and her district and what she believes was this moment of life and death that she's been called to respond to. But it's not about her, of course. Just understand that. It's not about her. Oh, and speaking of it's not about her, take a look at the ad that she decided to put out to announce her candidacy. Remember now, it's not about her. And I may say, once you see this ad, you'll realize it's a little bit about her, just a little bit, but it's also about somebody else.
How about this new one they have? Their new star, Crockett. How about her?
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person.
Crockett. Oh, man. Oh, man.
She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day, she's one of the leaders of the party. I said, you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
Okay, it's not just about her. It's about Trump. Remember, you're that Texan right now. Okay, Jasmine Crockett, you want to be my senator? Tell me what your issues are. Tell me what your priorities are. What are you going to focus on? How will you make life better for me here in Texas? What will you do to represent me in the United States Senate? And the answer is Trump hates me. Trump hates me. And that makes me happy because now I'm going to fight him because he thinks I'm the star of the Democrats. I guess. Is that the message? I mean, I'm told that for the blue sky crowd, the MS Now crowd, you know, the base of the Democrat Party who will be giving her the nomination and giving her a lot of money to run in this race, and it will be about $100 million probably when all is said and done. I'm told that that's an effective ad for them. I'm not them. So I don't know. I can't speak to it. But for me, you want to run for Senate and represent me and tell me, you know, what you're going to do on the job? Don't make it about who's sitting in the White House right now. You can bring that up later, but this is your first day and that's what it's about? Okay. Well, again, remember her words. This is not about her. What did she say? This is not about me. This has never been about me. Okay. So it's not about her. Let's dip back into her speech now. Let's see her spend all of her time talking about you because it's not about her.
Especially in this moment. There are a lot of people that said, you got to stay in the house. We need our voice. We need you there. And I understand. But what we need is for me to have a bigger voice. What we need is not only a voice, but we need to make sure that we are going to stop.
What we need is for me to have a bigger voice. What we need is for me to have a bigger voice. That's impressive. It's inclusive, isn't it? It includes we and me. Oh, by the way, me having a bigger voice, it kind of benefits me, but it's really for you and we. See, raising money for a house district that you're already locked into safely, maybe that's a couple million, maybe 5-10 million most. You run for Senate, now you're talking big bucks. And of course, her wardrobe, her security, her book sales, she's going to come out with a book and the campaign will buy the book and use the book for fundraising. And that's all legal. And she'll get the royalties back from the campaign buying that book. There's a lot of money to be made here. A lot more than when you're just running for one congressional district in Texas. What we need is for me to have a bigger voice. Okay. Oh, and then, of course, believe it or not, at one point during this speech, Jasmine Crockett raised the issue of sexism, racism, and bigotry. I know, it's shocking. You don't believe me, but here, watch.
When people come together. So I'm asking you to tune out those intrusive voices that say she can't win because she's Black, because she's a woman, or because she's a Democrat. If you believe women should be in all spaces, then I ask you to stand with me.
There you go. You see, if you're against Jasmine Crockett, it's because you don't believe that women should be in all spaces. Frankly, personally, I think the best place for Jasmine Crockett is space. I'd much rather her become an astronaut and get launched into the outer version of space. But there you go. Don't believe any of the voices who say that Jasmine Crockett can't win because she's a woman and that she's Black. And of course, the voices who are saying that Jasmine Crockett can't win because she's a woman or she's Black are the voices inside Jasmine Crockett's head. The reason that Jasmine Crockett can't win in Texas is because she's a radical leftist, because she is a bigot. But that's okay. If you criticize her, it's really because of race and sex. By the way, one candidate for the Republican nomination is a man named Wesley Hunt, who is Black, and he's a Republican. I mean, part of me wants him to win the primary just so he can take race off the table, but that's not going to happen, of course, because if you're a Black conservative Republican who likes Donald Trump, you're the whitest of them all. The other two candidates, John Cornyn, the incumbent, and Ken Paxton, the current attorney general. It's going to be an interesting primary. In fact, Wesley Hunt, though, I think has one more week until the filing deadline. He's not officially in that race yet. All right, more from Jasmine Crockett.
Well, I'm done with politics. I'm done with going along to get along, and it gets us nowhere. I'm done watching rural hospitals and public schools close their doors. I'm done watching parents be afraid to send their kids to school or the mall or the movies because Republicans have flooded our streets with guns. I'm done with the senators sitting around doing nothing while Trump takes your hard-earned money, skims your Social Security, slashes Medicare, and gives tax breaks to billionaires. I'm done. I'm done watching the American dream on life support while Trump tries to pull the plug. The gloves have been off, and now I'm jumping into the ring. I'm asking for your support to be the next United States Senator from the greatest state of Texas.
Listen, it's a great speech if she's running in Illinois or New York, maybe New Hampshire, Vermont, Delaware, Maryland. But Texas? Really? I'm sorry. You want to be a senator from Texas? And what was that first issue that you listed there when you went on your diatribe?
Well, I'm done with politics as usual.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with going along to get along,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets us nowhere.
Uh-huh.
I'm done watching rural hospitals and public schools close their doors. I'm done watching parents be afraid to send their kids to school or the mall or the movies because Republicans have flooded our streets with guns.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. She's running for Senate in Texas on an anti-gun, anti-Second Amendment, pro-gun control platform. It's a fascinating strategy, Jazzy. Let's see how that works out for you. By the way, was this last night? Yeah. She had an appearance on CNN, and, well, she just picked up where she left off, giving us gold.
That you will fight for them. How you make voters who previously have voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself, just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert those who are supportive of him to voters for you?
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to.
I understand that math is hard sometimes, but this ain't hard. You're in Texas. It has voted Republican repeatedly for decades, including in the United States Senate. Trump just won that state, I think, by 10 points, maybe 12 points. I think if you want to win statewide, you might need some Trump voters. But you're the genius here, not me. By the way, if you're wondering how Texas got this bad and how their party got this stupid, after running Beto O'Rourke, you'd think they'd say, like, maybe we need a better strategy. Well, I have an example for you, and this is not just isolated in Texas. This is where the Democrats are nationwide. I kept telling you, it's the Democrat Socialist Party now. This is Mamdani, Bernie Sanders, and AOC's party. And anybody who is sort of middle of the road and trying to, forge a different message in a state like Texas that might not want the radicals like Jasmine Crockett as an option, well, take a look at where they are. This guy, Colin Allred, had been a former congressman. He ran against Ted Cruz this last time around. He raised a lot of money, and people thought he did a pretty damn good job. But Cruz is pretty formidable. And it was in the same year that Donald Trump was on the ticket for the presidency. So a lot of people thought, all right, Cornyn, not super popular, seen as an establishment guy, running in a dirty, ugly, messy, divisive primary against MAGA Ken Paxton, who has some other political liabilities that he's bringing to the table. That might tear the Republicans up. And the election cycle is in favor of Democrats right now because it's the first midterm after a presidential election, and a lot of the wind is blowing Democrats' way. Maybe a reasonable, likable candidate like Colin Allred, who just already has a statewide apparatus because he just ran for Senate in 24, knows how to raise the money. Maybe this is his turn. And he had registered to be a candidate. He was in. He was ready to go. But then when Jasmine Crockett announced, he pulled out and said, all right, fine, I'm out of here. What does that tell you? What does that tell you about where the Democrats are right now? We'll let Colin Allred explain it. You tell me what you believe.
I want to ask you about your House race in 1 second, but just staying on the Senate race, because it really could determine the balance of power in the U.S. Senate. Jasmine Crockett is very openly considering running. Is that part of why you decided to not run anymore?
Yeah, of course it is. And I think, listen, Jasmine's a friend of mine, and we've served together, and I've known her since before we were both, in elected office. But it was about the fact that with three strong candidates running, that we would certainly have a runoff. And I felt that was not, in the interest of the folks who had, come up to me, tell me their stories, who would open themselves up. And in many ways, to me, I've always thought about this and try to take my ego, out of how I approach public service. That I'm trying to, I ran for Congress, as you know, Dana, in the district where I was born and raised, against a Republican who'd been there for 22 years. Nobody thought I could win that one. And I represented to represent the state that's given me a chance to do all the things that I've done, from playing in the NFL, just being a civil rights lawyer, to serving in Congress. And so this is a continuation of my attempt to try and put people first, and now continue to serve my community, just in a different way.
Yeah, that's all. It's better for me to put people first if I run in this House district again instead of statewide in Texas. And let's face it, if we had a runoff, that wouldn't be fair to all the people that I met and who told me their stories and gave me money and supported me to run for Senate this time around. Knowing that we'd have a runoff, it's not fair to them if I go into a runoff and actually fight to win the thing that they invested in me to win. So I'm just going to pull out. That makes sense. But that's probably exactly what happened here. Or hear me out, Jasmine Crockett and all of the money and power in the Democrat Party behind her strong-armed this guy and told him, get out now before it gets ugly. Because you think it was rough against Ted Cruz? Wait till you run into us. We will destroy you. And you're not going to raise any money because you're not relevant anymore. Politicians like you, not relevant anymore in this Democrat Party. Jasmine Crockett, she's the future. That's what happened. And that's why he gritted his teeth and said, I love Jasmine. We've known each other forever. I wish her nothing but the best. Sure. Okay, Colin. Maybe you'll become a Republican and then get some electoral success in Texas. We might even take you. Maybe.